welcome to my channel English and More. I am Sweta Roy, your English teacher, and I hope you are all set for tomorrow's term 2 English exam, the first exam, guys. So what is your feeling right now? All ready, all set, ready for the last minute tips and tricks, the last marathon? Yes, guys. So let's get started without further delay. So in today's session, we will be discussing the stories as well as the writing part. And for the stories, I'm not going to summarize the story. You've already done. This is the last day before your exam. So I have always been telling you, don't go for the summary only in the last day, right? So I will not do that. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to bring out certain highlights of the story so that it helps you to just have the last minute revision, okay, and focus on the important points. And I'm sure, please do watch the video till the end so that you can get very confident just before appearing in your exams, okay. So first I'll start with the writing part. So guys, for the writing part, my suggestion is to attempt the letter writing, because you have two topics from letter. One is a letter of order and one is letter of inquiry, right? So they are very simple and very scoring compared to the analytical paragraph, okay. While preparation, I always told you that prepare both, right? Because knowledge is very important. So you have now got the knowledge of both the topics. For attempting the question paper, I would suggest that you go for the letter writing. So while you write a letter of inquiry, these are the points that you need to remember. First is you need to let's start with the format in case you just need to recapitulate and revise. We have the sender's address, date, receiver's address, subject. Now while you write the subject, please make sure that it is crisp. 4 to 5 words, not more than that. But while making your subject line crisp, don't omit anything. Your subject line should be crisp, but at the same time it should encapsulate the essence of your letter. It should very clearly tell the examiner what is going to be the content of the letter. It should be absolutely related to the content, but very crisp. 4 to 5 words, maximum 6 to 7, not more than that, okay. Salutation, body, letter, sender's name, and signature at the end. That's the format. Now important points or tips that you need to remember for especially letter of inquiry. One by one we'll see. First, letter of inquiry. Provide a brief introduction about yourself, and then you have to clearly mention the subject of inquiry. Very important. Subject of inquiry should be clearly mentioned. Ask the information in bullet points. You can write in bullet points because this is a letter of inquiry. Inquiry and order both can be written in bullet points. You can also write in paragraph, but I would suggest to go for the bullet points for the information part. What are the information? So this is the list, because you're providing a list. So that could very well go with the bullet points, okay. And then in order to get any information of a particular date, mention it clearly in that letter, okay. It should be clear and concise. Okay, now we will discuss the next letter, that is letter of order. Both letter of order and inquiry should be clear and concise, okay. It should be brief, to the point, and you should write in a formal language. Then we should definitely have courteous language. Use courteous language, polite language. Even it is an letter of complaint, we did that in the first term. It should be very polite, okay. And when it is order letter, you need to list the things in order, okay. So that is very important. You also can talk about mode of payment, you need to talk about, not also can, you need to talk about mode of payment, mode of shipping, plus shipping address, okay. Shipping address you will be providing obviously, and then provide the deadline for order delivery. That is very important. The deadline is very important. You need to provide that. In case you are attempting the analytical paragraph, then what you need to do, for analytical paragraph, few tips that I would suggest from my end. Where you have marks is comparison and contrast. Yes, you need to provide comparison and contrast. and do refrain from using any personal comments. You have 3 paragraphs: introduction or thesis paragraph, body paragraph, and ending. Not 3 paragraphs, you have to write in a single paragraph, but these are the major division of the paragraphs. Don't divide your paragraphs, it should be written in a single paragraph, but this is how the flow of the paragraph would look like. Okay, and formal language again for analytical paragraph. So I hope the writing section is absolutely clear till now, right? So very simple, you can very easily score. Okay, expression, content, format, these things you need to think about and be careful about. Okay, now we'll start with the literature part. Now, what are the chapters that you have? The first chapter is Baker from Goa. Okay, Glimpses of India. Under Glimpses of India you have 3 parts. Baker from Goa by Lucio Rodrigues. Remember the name of the authors. Now, what is it about? It is a historical story related to the time when Portuguese ruled Goa, right? And then what is the story all about? The title itself suggests it's about Goa and its bread, right? Baking products. Okay, importance of bakers in Goa. So and definitely the author, he reminisces those golden days of the past, right? How the baker has been described as the friend and guide of the author and all the children, and how the children used to be very eager and enthusiastic, and they used to come and hurry, and in order to choose their favorite bread item, right? In the morning, the baker used to come twice. One was when he was on his selling round, and then when he used to empty the basket and go back. So twice, remember that, okay? And how he used to carry his basket in a bamboo stick, and the stick used to make the jingle sound and that heralded or signaled his arrival, right? And so this jingling sound used to make the children very, very enthusiastic. What was the favorite item of the children? It was the bread bangles, and for the adults it was the loaves. And how important was bread? Marriages were meaningless, any festival was meaningless. Talk about the sweet bread, it was bol, okay, B-O-L. How did the baker look like? What was the appearance of the baker? They used to wear, modern days we call that dress Bermuda, right? And baker is called Pader in Goa. So they used to wear those short dresses, then the pants, frock style, and the pants would be knee length, and it would be shorter than, it would not be full length, okay? And that was their dress. So yeah, that was known as kabai. Name of the dress is important, and it was anybody who was dressed like that would be compared to baker. And how did the bakers collect their money? That is also important. Bills at the end of the month, okay, with pencil they used to calculate their accounts on the wall. That is very important. And that's it, I think. Anything else is not required. These are the points that you need to keep in mind. Plump appearance, yes, one more point that I missed. Their plump appearance is a symbol of the baking profession being profitable, and anyone who would have that jackfruit-like appearance. Jackfruit-like appearance is that fat, plump appearance would be compared to the baker, okay? So, and even the servants of the baker, they looked very plump and healthy, which suggests that they had their profession was really profitable. Next we have Kurg, okay? Kurg is a beautiful place. I so want to visit Kurg. I am somewhere near Kurg right now, but I still did not get the opportunity to visit Kurg, okay? So Kurg is between Mangalore and Mysore. I'm not in Mangalore, I'm not in Mysore, okay? I'm in Hyderabad, but I want to visit Kurg. It's not very far from Hyderabad also. Like, it's in the southern belt, right? Anyways, so coming back, don't go to Kurg right now. Come back, you have an exam tomorrow. Okay, so Kurg is described as a beautiful place, like a heaven. It is compared to a heaven and kingdom of God. It is famous for its coffee plantation, evergreen forests, spices, okay? And tourists, what is the visiting time? That is important, September to March. This is April, okay? So time is over. Anyways, so this is a historic. Now here we have to focus on the legends. Okay, one is that of Arabic descent, and the other one is of Greek descent. So Alexander's army could not go back. They settled, they mingled with the locals. Okay, and so that is why the Greek descent. That's the story about the Greek descent. And what about the Arabic descent? Because of the dress. What is the name of the dress that they wear? Kufia. Okay, which resembles the dress which was worn by the Arabs, which is worn by the Arabs, that is kupia. Okay, so and then we can talk about the valor of Kurgi people. They are of martial race. Okay, the Kodavus, they still have, and also they are very hospitable. They always they like to state narrate the stories of valor. Okay, and talking about the and yes, very important is the Kurgi Regiment. Okay, Kurgi Regiment is a very decorated regiment. And then we have General Cariappa, who was the first army chief. He belongs to the district of Kurg. And even today, the Kurgis are the only people who are allowed to carry firearm without license. Then what are the tourist spots? If you plan to visit Kurg after your exams, then what are the tourist spots? Nisar Gadhama, Brahmagiri Hills. Okay, that gives you the panoramic view. And then it's a very good place for people who like adventure sports, because you have lots of adventure sports, rappelling, mountain biking, etc., river rafting, etc. And then you have trekking, and while trekking you can enjoy the wildlife there, because you have thick canopies, evergreen forest, so it's a room for various wildlife like birds, butterflies, langurs, macaws. Okay, and then we have the famous Buddhist monks, the hub of Buddhist monks, which is there in the nearby island, nearby Bailakupi. Okay, so these are the points from Kurg. Okay, Kurg is done. Okay, now next we will travel to Assam. Assam, okay, Kurg author is Lokesh Abrol. Remember the authors. And what about Assam? Tea from Assam is the name of the chapter. That is by Arup Kumar Datta. Now, this is a story. This is like a story between Rajveer and Pranjal. You already know. Now, what are the points that you need to remember? Facts about tea. Okay. So, who was interested more, Rajveer or Pranjal? Rajveer was interested, and because he belonged to a city and he was traveling to Assam, which was Pranjal's hometown. So he was and Pranjal grew there in Assam itself, so he was not that curious as Rajveer. And then Rajveer had researched a lot, and what did he find out? That humans drink around 8 lakhs cup of tea. Okay, and then per day. Okay, and then he also talks about the beautiful scenery, the plantations, right? Then we will come to the legend. Okay, now there are two legends. One is Chinese and the other one is Buddhist. So please note, there are two legends. So which is asked, if a question is asked on the legend, please remember to read the question properly. Okay. So you have according to the Chinese legend, what was the legend? Few leaves from the branches that fell in the boiling water and gave a delicious flavor. So that was the legend associated with the Chinese. A Chinese monk, he used to drink tea by boiling water. So one day while he was boiling water, the leaves fell and that gave a delicious flavor. And what about the Buddhist legend? Bodhidharma, he used to meditate and he used to feel asleep. He used to feel sleepy while meditating. So in order to avoid that, what did he do? He cut his eyelids and he threw it. So the place where he threw the eyelids, 10 tea plants grew. Okay, so those tea plants, when they are used in making that tea, they banish sleep, right? And the words chai, chini, Okay, now these are the facts. Okay, words chai, these were legends. These are stories. What are the facts? The words chai, chini, they are Chinese in origin. In Europe, tea was drunk as a medicine more than as a beverage. Okay, so these are basically, and the name of the estate which Pranjal's father was managing, that was Badi Tea Estate. And they also saw the women carrying bamboo basket. They used to plug the tea and they used to throw it like this, right? Now this was, now from glimpses of India, you could think about the diversity of India. Okay, that is a point that you need to harp upon. Why do we have glimpses of India? To look at the diversity. See, all the three places, they are so different from each other, so unique. So a question on diversity for your value-based question is important. It can come, okay, in any form. It may not straight away come as talking about the, express the diversity, or, talk about the diversity of India. It won't come in this language. The language may be twisted. What you need to look into is the meaning of the question, and what is it talking about? What is it trying to ask you? Okay, and then you go ahead with your answers. That is done. Next chapter is Madam Rides the Bus. Now what happens in Madam Rides the Bus? The little girl, Valyamai, who is Valli, okay, she's 8 years old, and this story revolves around her bus journey, how she meticulously plans. So when I'm saying meticulously planning, she was a meticulous planner, character of Valli. And not just plans, but also she listens to the conversation. Okay, she eavesdrops and she listens to the conversations. That is how she collects information, and then she plans in such a way so that she could go and come back, and while her mother is asleep in the afternoon. She also calculates how much time it would take to go and come back, how much money she would be needing in order to do so. And how did she collect that money? She did not even take that. She controlled her temptations to go for the merry-go-round, to buy stuffs in the fair that she visited. So that talks about her resolute nature, another point of Valli. Then she had this strong desire of riding that bus ride. Her favorite pastime, that is also important, that was to just stand in front of her door and watch whatever was happening outside, because she did not have playmates to play with. So that was the pastime that she enjoyed. And that bus who used to ferry passengers from the village to town, was a major source of attraction. Okay, and she wanted to take that bus ride, and in order to do that, she really planned very well. Okay, how much was the distance? 6 miles from her town. Okay, and 30 paise for one way, so total 60 paise she would require. Okay, and then we will talk about the journey. So when she started from when she got up in the bus conductor tried to help her, but she refused that help. This talks about the fact that she thought herself to be mature, and she did not like people calling her child, and that's why the name Madam. That's why the conductor called her Madam in a just to joke with her in a funny way. He was also very jovial, characteristic feature of being jovial, that is for the conductor, right? And then during her journey, you remember the lady who was sitting beside her. She was so repulsive because she was with large ear holes, sorry, and her mouth was filled with beetle juice, right? So you can understand that was disgusting for Valli. Moreover, she was constantly poking and asking questions, so that was also very irritating for Valli. Somebody told her to sit down while she was trying to see what was going on outside. So her height was short, she was just a small little girl, right? She was standing and somebody told her to sit down, otherwise she would get hurt. That also annoyed Valli, because she thought that the people there are treating her as a child. Then focus on the cow and that journey, ongoing journey and return journey. Questions can come from here. Okay, the difference between the ongoing and return journey. What do you learn? What did Valli learn? So when she was going, she saw that cow filled with life. She laughed heartily, so much so that tears came out from her eyes. But while on her way back, what happened to her? What happened to that cow? It was dead, right? So what do we learn from here? First, Valli learns her journey was full-fledged. She did not just see the positive side, she also saw the negative side. She was very close, she saw death very closely. So life and death. So that gave her a lot of experience about life and death. Okay, and then we can also talk about safety of the animals and driving. While we drive, this is a common sight which we often see on our way. So what precautions can we? So think on these lines, because questions can come from anywhere, especially the value-based questions. They are very life-related and practical life-related questions. So I am just making you think, because stories you know already. So you need to think in between the lines. You need to go in between the lines. Think about the practical application of it, because questions will come. And I am trying to also take you to cross-refer to other texts, because questions come from there as well, right? Okay, so that was important. Now we will see Gotham Buddha, sermon at Banaras. What is a sermon? That is important for you. Okay, so please look at the word meanings properly. What is a sermon? And then the meanings like enlightenment. In this chapter, you have a lot of words which you need to look into. Okay, now when we talk about Gotham Buddha, he belonged to a royal family, and what was his original name? Siddhant Gautama. Okay, what sights did he see which moved him? Remember the sights: monk begging alms, funeral procession. Okay, what else? So the sights are important. Please remember, the sights are very, very important, right? Because these sights helped him to go into a world where he gained knowledge, enlightenment, and he passed this to the generation. Okay, so he witnessed the sights which moved him, and then he went to the Bodhi tree. Bodhi tree is the name of the tree. That was he sat on a peepal tree. He renamed that tree as Bodhi tree, and and then he gained that enlightenment, right? So the sights are important again. What were the sights? One was a sick man. Okay, next one was a funeral procession, a man begging for alms. Okay, so these acted as eye openers, and he thought that he was being shielded away from all these, just like Happy Prince. Remember, grade 9th Happy Prince, he was also shielded away from all these miseries, right? But then when he became a statue, he could see everything, and then tears started flowing. Gautam Buddha was also moved. Emperor Ashoka was also moved. See, you can refer to Emperor Ashoka maybe in a value-based question in appropriate places, of course. Okay, so then Kisa Gautami. What happened to Kisa Gautami? Her son was dead. Her only son died. She went door to door. For the first time, why did she go? To ask for help, so that her son could, to ask for medicines, so that her son could be back to life. But was that possible? Of course not. Somebody told her to go to Buddha. Okay. And then what did Buddha say? He sent her on an errand. He said that bring a handful of mustard seed, but there is a condition. What was the condition? You should bring it from that house where death has never touched. Okay, death has never knocked the door of that house. She thought that it was very simple, but when she actually went to the errand, there was no such house where nobody had died. Okay, so then this process helped her to realize that death is something which is universal, which is inescapable, which is inevitable. See, these words you can put into the papers, okay? And which is beyond our control, which is bound to happen, okay? and she was being very selfish because she thought that it was a personal grief, but in reality it is something which is universal. And she understood that death is the ultimate truth. And then Lord Buddha gave that lecture, the sermon at Banaras, that sorrow, pain, these are something which is there in human being, and it is very painful to accept the truth. But the moment we accept this truth, we reach a state of calm and we are blessed. Okay, so life and death, that is something which is natural, beyond our control. Then he gives some examples, analogies of the fruits, which is always in the fear lurks, the fear of falling down from the branch that lurks, right? And then he talks about the pottery, okay, which is so fragile that it could break at any time. Okay, so these are the analogies which he gives. So similarly, human beings, we are also always, death is lurking behind and we can do nothing about it. Ball poem, if you remember, right? So what happens in the ball poem? Same way the boy learns to accept the truth and move on. Same way Kisa Gautami also accepted the truth, and the moment we accept the truth, we reach a state of calm and we are blessed. So there is nothing that we could do, we need to accept it. Sermon at Banaras, done. Any other point? If you feel like I have missed some point, please help us all of us, by posting the comments, posting any point that you think was missed, or you would like to add. Please post it in the comment section. You are free to do that. That would be really enriching for all of us, right? We are all learning together. Okay, so then we will move to our next topic from the next story, which is a play basically, that is Proposal, my favorite, by Anton Chekhov. It's a Russian play. Okay, you know the story, I'm not repeating the story, just giving you the highlights. Lomov and Shubukov, Natalia, these are the three characters. Now Lomov goes to propose, ask for Natalia's hand, and what happens? What are his characteristic features? Pain in the heart, right? He has palpitations. And why does he want to marry Natalia? That the reasons for which he wants to marry Natalia, not love, but he has reached a crucial stage, 35 years, and now he wants to settle down, which is very common. Don't you relate to it in Indian context also? Now this is not limited to Russia only, it is universal, right? Because in Indian society also we find the same thing. Okay, and then he thinks that Natalia is beautiful, she's not bad looking. He doesn't mention beautiful, she's not bad looking, she's a homemaker, good housewife, educated, so they would make a perfect match. But his problem is he always beats around the bush, never reaches to the point. So here also this problem leads to a great confusion, and they start to quarrel about, first, the property, Oxen Meadows, and then after Oxen Meadows, the next topic of dispute was the breed of the dog. Okay, Squeezer and Guess. Okay, so all these confusions, chaos that contribute to the humor of the play. Apart from being humorous, the play has a very important theme, and that is the play, with the help of the play, the author is trying to show the cold approach to marriage that had been common in the 19th century Russia, especially among the wealthy people. Okay, now this is a satire. What is the purpose of a satire? Please note, these questions can come. Okay, satire can come, then satire can come, and then, as a comedy, farce, I think it was given in the sample paper as well. So these are the terms that you should be well familiar with. Okay, satire has two functions. It is comedy, definitely, but with the help of comedy there is a deeper purpose. It makes you laugh at the follies of the society. The purpose is correction. When you laugh at the follies of the society, you understand the follies, the foibles of the society, you also attempt to correct it. Okay, these are the two functions of satire. Okay, so what is it? Satire is basically sarcasm, taunt, but also has a corrective function. Okay, So money driven type of marriage. Marriage is like a business. Depicts the two main characters excessively posh, desperately wanting to marry each other. For what? Only for economic security. Blind to the fact that they would never get along. And this is very well exhibited, especially towards the end of the play, when Lomov, he is unconscious, and still Shubukov, when he gets up, still in that dilemma, still in that unconscious state, half unconscious state, and Shubukov says that you need to marry Natalia, and they quickly get married to each other so that there is no other confusion. Can you relate to Indian marriages also? Some way or the other, we definitely can relate to the marriages in our society, right? Okay, now the next chapter is making of a scientist. What are the points that we need to take care? The mother's contribution. Okay, mother's contribution. How did Richard Ebright's mother contributed to the making of his scientist? First of all, the buying of the book Travels of Monarch X. She always encouraged him to do in following his passion, whatever he wanted, right from collecting butterflies. So not just she encouraged that collection of butterflies, she also brought that book, wrote the letter to Dr. Urquhart, and then so that he could also participate in that tagging of butterflies. Then you can also say that she always helped him they did things together, right? And then she also gave him a lot of support, like she used to buy him cameras, telescopes, mounting materials, okay, all of these, right? And then achievements of Ebright talk about the Viceroy and Monarch butterfly thing, okay? Read that portion. Then when you read that portion of Viceroy and Monarch butterfly, go to the gold spots also. The purpose of the 12 gold spots, it's basically a growth hormone, okay? And then DNA, okay? DNA also is important. These are the things that you need to remember. X-ray, he took X-ray. While taking that X-ray photographs, he found that cell can read the blueprint of DNA, okay? So these are the points. And then we can also talk about his multifaceted personalities. Okay, so he was not just a great scientist, he was a good public speaker, a canoeist, a complete outdoor person. He was a very ambitious person, and he proved that competition. Okay, and one more point is that when he failed at that experiment where he just had made a neat display of tadpole under that mic, so he failed in that experiment. He also learned a lesson. So from there a value-based question can come, okay? So failure leads to success, something like this, and just taking you in those lines where you can think. Whenever you read a chapter, think between lines, okay? And then he was a wonderful person. Another important thing is he used to win, because he thought that winning should be for the right reasons, okay? So we can also compare with Griffin here. Griffin used to take science and technology, he used to take that as to his advantage and to his own convenience, rather than thinking about the society. But here Ebright thinks that if you are winning a competition, it should be for the right reasons. It should not be pulling down the other person. So that could also come for a value-based question. It should be that you are giving your best. So for the exams also, I want you to give your best. That's it, and you will definitely win, right? Okay, next is Hack Driver by Sinclair Lewis. Now, Hack Driver is a story of a young lawyer who completed his graduation, and he was working with a famous firm, but he did not like his job because he was always sent to send summons in dirty places. He was sometimes even beaten up, right? Once he went to a place called New Mullion, a village called New Mullion. Initially, he was not attracted to that place, but when he met that hack driver, he was so engrossed in his friendly behavior, his friendly demeanor, his good conversation with him, and the tour around the village, his stories about the village people, that he forgot for what he came. He came for giving, giving sermons, right? But he forgot his purpose completely. And that driver, he introduced himself as Bill Magnuson, right? And how, and then entire story, you know the story already, how he fooled the narrator to believing that he was also helping him to find Oliver Lutkins. But it turned out to be the fact that he was actually Oliver Lutkins. So what mistakes did this man make, this lawyer make? The mistakes are important. First, he did not take an active part. Okay, it was Oliver Lutkins who was always going in front, and this lawyer had taken a back seat. Okay, he was not proactive in the enquiry part, and the entire village people, they also took part in preparing the entire drama and fooling the narrator. So what do we understand from here? That the lawyer was definitely educated, but he lacked the practical knowledge. So this lesson is all about our practical knowledge. Okay, so whenever we go out, we should not blindly trust people and reveal everything to that. This lawyer committed that mistake of revealing everything. Why? What is the purpose of his visit? Everything to the hack driver. So, appearances are deceptive. Do not go by the appearances of people. Even if somebody is being over friendly, do not trust that person blindly. I'm not saying don't trust anyone. Trust, but use your brain, use your practical experience. So value based questions from these angles can come. Okay, then another question can about the mother, about Oliver's mother, how Oliver narrated wove stories about Oliver's mother, right? She was a very dangerous lady, she had hit him with an iron rod, etc., etc. So that part also do just read, just go through that. Okay, so what does the story teach? I told you already that we should not trust blindly. Okay, and next one is my favorite, that is Necklace by Guy de Maupassant. This is the last story that we will discuss. Now, Necklace is a story with a lot of depth. It's not a simple story of a necklace getting stolen. So the characters over here, Matilda, Mr. Louisel, okay, and Madame Forestier. Okay, so what happens here is Matilda, she wants all the luxuries and delicacies in her life. She was never satisfied with whatever she had. She was very beautiful, and she got married to this person who was a clerk. She had less dowry, that is what is stated in your chapter. She was married to a clerk of her standard, right? But she always wanted to, her ambition was to climb up the social ladder. She always wanted to be very distinguished. Okay, so one day this man, he got an invitation from his office, and what happened at that point of time? Naturally, people would be happy usually to get an invitation, but she was very upset and angry. She threw the invitation letter. Why? What was the reason? Because she did not have a proper dress to wear. Okay, and see, when we talk about dress, when we talk about jewelry, when we talk about our appearances, one important point that we need to know is we are faking ourselves, isn't it? So appearances are deceptive, right? This works here also. In what sense? This lady Matilda, she wanted to appear someone who actually she was not. She wanted to appear rich. She was not rich. She wanted to appear rich. Please note this, very, very important. Okay, then she borrowed this necklace. Then later she came to know, and then obviously that necklace got lost and all those chaos, everything. They spent 10 years of their lives, and she also had to work very hard, doing all the household chores, going to the butcher also, everything. And she lost everything, all her beauty. She was very pretty. She lost her beauty in the process. She looked very old. Her complete appearance changed. The appearance for which she was so proud of, and she wanted to, be distinguished. And in the party also, she enjoyed so much, right? And people were dancing with her, right? And what happened? The next moment, the necklace gone, her entire life gone. Okay, so and then look at her husband. Her husband also had to work 2 shifts a day. So here her husband was also at fault. What was the fault of her husband? He also told, right, he guided her to take that necklace, borrow that necklace. He could have just said no to that dress. He gave money for that dress, and that money he had saved for buying gun for that hunting. He wanted to go for a hunting party with his friends, and he had saved that money. He gave that money. So he did not use his rationale, his farsightedness, his intelligence there. Matilda also did not use. She was blinded by her ambition to be beautiful, to be distinguished. But at least someone should show the path. He also encouraged her. He indulged her, right? So both are at fault. These are the flaws in both the characters. Okay. Finally, when she met her friend, she understood the friend. Now see, when she lost that necklace, she did not tell her friend. She could have told her friend honestly that I lost your necklace, I'll replace it. At that point of time, her friend could have said that was just fake. She would not have spent so much, right? And her life would not have undergone such a great tragedy and misery. Her life would not have been miserable. But she did not be honest, and it was the husband who told her that you say that you have broken the class. Meanwhile, we can buy time and we can get the necklace replaced. Her husband also did not suggest go and be honest with your friend. So both are at flaws. Okay. Now this friend was very honest, because the moment this lady told her that I got this is what happened, she said, oh my god, that necklace was just fake, although she had got the real one. Now the story ends there. It is an open-ended story. You could be also asked to provide an alternative ending. If the story would have continued, what do you think? Would Madame Forrester be giving away the necklace? And even if she gives, do you think that the life or the time that she had lost, can she get that back? Think on these lines. The time that she had lost, she can never get that time back. And again, one more point to harp on, the similarity between the necklace and Matilda. Both are trying to appear. The necklace was not of diamond. It appeared like diamond. Matilda was not that lady which she appeared to be in the party. And when she was in the party ended. The joy ended. And there is a portion in the chapter which says, where Matilda says, I wish this would continue. So that means these joys are temporary. All these riches, all these name, fame, everything. One day a person will ask you, your name, your fame would not last long, right? These are very temporary things. The things which are permanent, the love that you get from your near and dear ones, which Matilda ignored, they are very precious. That is very precious, which Matilda did not pay heed to. And she lost even that. The beauty that she got, she lost even that, right? But one thing she learned by this entire process is, now she no longer wanted to be distinguished, rich, and climb that social ladder. Now at least she got that contentment which was missing earlier. Okay. This is a chapter which needs this kind of reading, not just the story. I hope you have understood these pointers. So think on these pointers. It will help you to create your answers. If you get any question from anywhere, see, textual question you can manage, you know the story. But value-based question is something where people get stuck, right? So these are the points you need to remember. You need to understand basically rather than remember, to create your answer, to add on to your answer, to give these points in your answer that would impress your examiner. All right. So I hope you have understood the chapter so far. Okay, last chapter is Holi. Holi is again my favorite. Now from Holi, what you need to understand is the transformation importance of education. Okay, Sulekha actually, she was called Bholi. What happened to her? Pockmarks, and she got her brain got damaged because she fell off from cot. She was neglected. Why did she go to school? Because of the village tehsildar, okay, who wanted Ramlal, her father, to send all her children to school, daughters, because a girls' school was opening. Now opening of the girls' school suggests there is some kind of transformation in the village. But again, the transformation is to be here, in the mind, in the mental setup, which was not there. That is why Ramlal was not sending the daughters to school, because if he sends the daughters, what will happen? They will not get married. That was the thought. That was the backdated, outdated, regressive thought. Okay. Now Bholi, why was she sent to school? Because she was the safest option. She was not going to get married because neither she had the look nor she had the intelligence according to her family. She goes to the school, she undergoes a complete transformation with the help of education and her teacher who motivated and encouraged her. So here the question can come, what is the difference between her treatment at home and at school? So at home she did not receive encouragement, and that is why she was very timid. Whenever she spoke, she was made fun of, she was laughed at, nobody took care of her. But when she was sent to school, why did Bholi think that she's probably going to a better place when she was sent to school for the first time? Because her hair was done properly, she was properly dressed for the first time. Okay, initially she was panicking because she thought that maybe her cow, just as her cow Lakshmi was thrown out because she was of no use, maybe she's also being thrown away because she's of no use. So that was ingrained in her mind because of her parents, because of her family, because of her near and dear ones, because of her surrounding, that you are of no use, right? That was the mental setup. And what happened at school? Why did she undergo a transformation? Because a teacher taught that whenever you come, if you come every day to school and learn, then today these people are laughing. Tomorrow you will be a confident speaker and nobody is going to laugh at you. So she understood that if she receives education, that is going to be a game changer, a life changer for her. Same way as you had done in the story of the thief story, remember? Okay, so in the thief story also, the thief, Hari, right, Hari Singh, he understood the importance of education and he came back. Because of education and understanding that how education can help him, that the return was possible and transformation was possible. Same way, Bholi, when she took a stand at the end that no, I'm not going to get married to this greedy old man who is double my age, and also he's asking for the dowry and putting my family and me to an utterly miserable state. Okay, so that was only possible because of education, right? And at the end, everyone cursed her except her teacher, who was standing there and she was looking at the peace that she has created. She was admiring at the peace that she was created. She was the artist and her art was Bholi, who was a transformed girl. No more Bholi, but Sulekha. Because now Sulekha is in Hindi, it's a word in Hindi. Bholi, it's also a word in Hindi. Bholi means gullible. Okay, we say that, "Arey, tum to bahut bholi ho." That means simpleton. Okay, And Sulekha is someone, Sulekha, that means who can write very well. So it's related to knowledge. So now knowledge had transformed her once again, and she became Sulekha once again. She took a stand. Not only that, she also said that I am going to stay with my parents, serve them, and I'm going to work in that very school from where I received so much, from where I received knowledge. So she is going to continue this, and we have a hope. The story ends with a hope that this is going to change. This mentality of demeaning girls, the dowry system, these social evils like dowry, and girls' education being neglected, this is definitely going to be revolutionized with the openings of the school, and with teachers like the teacher of Holi and like Bholi, who takes a stand after receiving education for all the other girls as well, not just for herself but all the other girls as well. So proper emotional security, support, family support can lead to a child's development. So here you can get a difference between Bholi's family and Richard Ebright's family, how his mother supported and how she lacked support from her family. So think about the comparison. Okay, so I hope guys you have understood all the chapters, and I hope I have been able to train you to think about the chapters beyond whatever is written. Okay, because that is going to help you to answer your paper brilliantly and create impressive answers. Okay, so all the best. You are going to rock. Have faith on yourselves, have confidence, start with grammar, start attempting the grammar portion first, then go for the literature. What I mean to say is, whatever you know, first start with that so that you gain that confidence. Okay, so all the best. Thank you. We will very soon come up with our next classes. I have seen your comments that you want me to show PPT. Let me tell you guys, I am not at home right now. Actually, I'm staying in a hostel right now, so it's very difficult to arrange for classes, but I'm trying very hard. Very soon, next month, I'll be going back home, so I will be making the arrangements in a proper way, and when we start with our new academic year, we'll start with PPTs. Don't worry about it. Okay, so till then, take care and thank you for all your support. We are now a family of almost, we are reaching 500. Okay, so please keep supporting. Don't forget to hit the like button, share the video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Till then, take care. Bye bye. All the best. Love you. Bye bye.